Howdy folks, today we're looking at a couple pins I picked up during Amazon's Prime Day sales. I didn't do a specific video on the sales themselves as I didn't see too many pins that were particularly a good deal, but I did find a few that were pins I had had my eye on that were a couple dollars cheaper, so it was a good enough time for me to pick them up at least. So we'll do a quick unboxing on these, and then at a later point, I'll do an individual video on each of the pins. Starting off here, we have the Jinhao 9019, and this pin came in just this basic zipper bag here and was shipped in a plain paper mailer, so I'm actually surprised it made it to me. As someone that works for the post office, I know how roughly packages get treated, so it's quite surprising. Opening the pin up here, what makes this one somewhat unique over some of the other pins is it's just a fairly large pin, which comes with a unique, for at least Chinese import pins, a number 8 size nib, which is quite a bit bigger than your standard number 6 size, and a lot of import pins actually use a number 5, which is even smaller. Just a larger nib, something nice to look at. This one is a gold toned nib and has a heartbeat slit cut into the nib. I picked this one up in a medium, as that's typically what I use. Unscrewing the section here will give you the other unique feature of this pin. It has a custom, or at least non-standard, converter, which is a screw-in type, and is quite a bit larger than your standard international, so it should hold a little bit more ink in comparison to your typical cartridge converter pin, which is something I like. I do use different colored inks, but I typically stick with the same color for quite a while in a pin, rather than wanting to swap them out, so a pen with a larger capacity just means I don't have to fill it up as often. I picked this one up in the green and gold, which is just kind of a unique color for me. I typically go for blues and purples, but it was just the color I decided to pick out of the ones available. On to the next pen here that I picked up. This one comes in a paper sleeve, and which is typical for the Asvine pins. This one is the V126, which is a vacuum filler. So removing the paper sleeve here, we'll have a plastic box, so I'm typically not near as worried when a pen comes in something like this, even though it was in another relatively plain mailer. This one was actually bubble, but not thick enough that it would save it from anything that would happen at the post office. Opening this up, you've got a little instruction booklet which shows you the parts of the pen and gives you a detailed guide on how to fill the pen up. Nice and easy though. If you've ever used a vacuum filler pen, it is quite typical. So I picked this one up in a frosted gray color, and it has matte black accents on the clip and cap band. The nib is black as well, but it's going to be more of a gloss finish rather than a matte black, which I would have preferred just for kind of uniformity of the pen. You are able to disassemble this to get to the reservoir, so if you want to change inks, it's quite easy to just fill this up with some water, give it a good shake, and pour it out, rather than having to attempt to flush it out by filling and emptying it. And then as for the feed-in section itself, you just use a bulb syringe and run 1 or 2 of those through there, and it gets you nice and cleaned out. To fill this one up, you would unscrew the piston cap here and fully extend the piston rod, dip it down in the ink, and slowly depress this. Once it gets down to the breakaway point, the vacuum that is formed behind the seal there will be released, and it'll pull ink up into the barrel there, giving a nice quick fill. So these were the 2 pins I picked up during Prime Day. They were just ones I had my eye on, nothing too special. Beyond those, the only other ones I saw that were a little bit of a markdown were the Moonman A1 and A2, which are the Pilot Vanishing Point knockoffs. The A1s I like, they're all metal. The A2s are made of plastic on the body, and I actually had mine correct, so I don't personally recommend that one. But they were only $1 or $2 off compared to the prices you can get them importing them straight from China. It's really not that much of a savings beyond the fact that you get it a little quicker through Amazon. And then besides that, I saw the Jinhao 82s, which are another kind of knockoff pin, definitely looking like some of the Sailor pins. They were a couple dollars off as well, but the colors I personally was interested in weren't on sale or weren't available, so I didn't pick any of those up. So if you did pick up any fountain pens or any fountain pen related items during the Prime Day sale, I'd be interested to know what you picked up. Let me know down in the comments below.